It's Christmas time. This is the last episode of 2018. Okay. So here's my spiel. Good evening. You are watching Uncharted Case Files, episode number 14, live from Ontario, Canada, with yours truly, Ryan Stacey. I am the Assistant Chief Investigator for MUFON Canada, the Provincial Director and Chief Investigator for the Province of Ontario, and I am the Field Investigator Trainer for Canada. I also investigate everything else paranormal. I believe they're all connected, but more specifically that there's a solid connection between shadow figures and extraterrestrial abductions. And I'm going to talk about that tonight. Today is Thursday, December 20th, 2018. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and to date I have officially completed 532 MUFON Canada investigations, which include 19 in the last 7 days, and I currently have 2 in progress. Tonight, I will be talking about 3 new reported cases, Project Blue Book, both the show and the actual project, NORAD, Abductions and Sleep Paralysis. If you're watching this live, please share so others can see. And most importantly, don't forget to like and follow my page. If you're watching this on another page, which I just shared to you right now, I will not be able to see your comments. So come over to my Facebook page, click the link, come right over, and make your comments on the actual live video feed, so that way I can see this in real time and answer your questions and comments. Otherwise, I'll try and check them the best I can tomorrow and the next day. If you're listening to this on Spreaker, just make sure you come to the Facebook page if you want to see the visuals. Other than that, please enjoy. All right. Hello, Fiorina de. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you. Welcome. All right. So, if you guys don't know, you guys are new to listening to me here, you want to check episodes 1 through 13. And I just explained myself for the gist of it. But every week I am showing you within the most recent reports that have been either given to MUFON Canada in the last 7 days or myself. If you don't want to report to MUFON Canada, report to me. I'll investigate it for you, and I will store it on my own personal database. Okay, so I want to recap from last week. So last week's episode, we ended by talking about... oh, Brad's here too. Hi, Brad. We ended up talking about Atlantis because the poster that I have here, which is dated December 21st. I had that last week, so nobody needs to know how I got it, but I got it. But anyways, that starts tomorrow. That's when vacation starts, or holidays, 12:30 tomorrow. So we started talking about Atlantis and starseeds at near the end, and I kind of wanted to pick up there. But before I get to that, I just want to shout out to Nightstalker's Paranormal Network. Ignore that. My friend Pat is trying to get me to do Tough Mudder. I may do that, may not. We'll see. So Paranormal Nightstalker is hosting a bunch of networks like myself to do podcasts. And what we plan to do, actually, we just come up with this recently, is we're going to have a Patreon event. Come on, Pat, piss off. Okay, thanks. So we're going to have a Patreon event that's going to happen once a month where all these individual networks are going to come together. We're going to choose one paranormal or UFO topic, and we're going to rip it apart. So stay tuned for information about that. I am going to post that once that starts in 2017, or sorry, 17. Jesus, I'm going back in time. 2019. So that is something pressing that is going to be coming. So I'll just give you a little feedback. Paranormal Crossings, okay, here. Paranormal Crossings in the Unknown podcast hits the airwaves. Each and every week, join our host, Aaron Collins, as they speak in celebrities and professionals in the paranormal field. And then we got Portals to Enlightenment, join us our psychic medium, all right, Tales from the Dark Farm, all over the world. What we got here, Enlightens Me, so another enlightenment. Dark Side of the Paranormal Nightstalker, myself, UCF, Uncharted Case Files. So that is going to be an interesting concept. It's going to be a round table of us all putting our heads together for specific cases, and we're just going to chew them apart. So that will be on Patreon as a paid event, I guess, subscribed event. I don't know how Nightstalker is going to work it out. I will get details and I will let you know. So yeah, so let's dive. So other than that, plug. Let's dive right into what we're talking about. So last week we started talking about Atlantis, and as we know, Aquaman starts tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna go see that. There's some huge what do you call it? Foreshadowing towards Sumerian mythology, because we did talk about that last week, how Sumerians originally, actually not Sumerians, the Anunnaki, which the Sumerians had believed in, had come from the sea, and there are ties to Atlantis. And I know that this is a comic book. I'm a huge DC fan, but I have high hopes for this movie, and I really hope that it's going to tie into a huge Atlantean connection. Is it a movie? Of course. But as we've talked in many episodes before, we know that part of this is conditioning and soft disclosure. A lot of these movies that are coming out have hints towards the truth that is going to come out relatively soon. I have inside information from a friend of mine that dropped a bomb on me last week, saying that there is stuff that is coming within the next few months. February, I'm told that February is going to be a big month. Revealing information. I don't know what's coming out, but we'll talk about that soon. So that's 2 months from now. So, yeah. So what do we got here? So last week we talked about Atlantis. The theory is great. I mean, I do like. Okay, so here's the thing. So the idea of Atlantis existing is one thing, but the sophisticated race or realm of individuals or beings or deities to exist on that on that continent. Sorry, I'm really excited. There's stuff that I'm holding here that I'm excited to talk about, and I just want to rip through this to get to it, but I'm really excited. So the concept here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm really excited. So Sumerians, Atlantis. Okay, here we are. We're back. So Atlantis. Okay, let's just come back to that. Fuck, I don't know what happened there. I had a brain fart. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about that. But anyways, I want to dive right into the new stuff. So Starseeds we talked about last week too. It is defined and described as a soul who is incarnated on a planet Earth, yet comes somewhere else, another galaxy, another dimension, timeline, or plane of existence. This was something we kind of led to near the end of things. We kind of talked about how some people feel as if they're not from around here. And the idea with Atlantis and this, what's going on there is, we spend a lot of time looking up, and we don't spend a lot of time looking down. So the sea, as we know, 10% of the sea, that's a rough number, has been discovered. So it's quite possible that we have just as much unexplored here on Earth as we do out in space. I think we've probably explored more out in space than we have here on our own Earth. And the idea of having a sophisticated advanced technology and civilization here on Earth resonates with me. It makes more sense than anything if it's here on Earth. I talked about how I'm connected to the water for some reason. I have a hard time swimming. I'm not a very strong swimmer, but for some reason, water gives me peace and calming. If I'm stressed out, I will go to the water. A galaxy, another dimension, another timeline or plane kind of coincides with that. So if you're connected to a different civilization, even within our own timeline, our own civilization, it's quite possible that a starseed could associate with Atlantis, and that's beings, terrestrial beings here on Earth. I am going to do a specialized episode on starseeds and Atlantis in the future. This kind of came off the cuff at the end of the last episode. I did want to talk more. I just want to kind of recap to that. Some of you guys are returning, which is great, and I did promise that I would do more research. Ashley, my sister. Hello, Ashley. This is the first one you've watched live. Hello, how you doing? So anyway, so let's get into the good stuff. So this week I have three cases. Let's dive into those cases here. I'm going to save the best for last for you guys listening live on Spreaker here. Sorry, I came in a little hot and heavy, but I'm really excited. So this case here, 96990, I'm just going to pull that up on the CMS. Hi, Nancy. So just for you guys listening here, what I'm doing is I have two computers working. What I'm doing is I'm going onto the second computer here to pull up the case number, which you see here, 96990. I'm going to read you the description from the MUFON CMS, and then I'm going to explain to you what this is. So this week reported, submitted on December 13th, 2018. The event occurred December 8th, 2018. It was described as a sphere, classified as a CE1, and it was in Grand Cache, Alberta. It is described as, I have pictures of an orb that is perfect. We were elevation 530 feet, one of the highest mountains in Grand Cache. So these are what I got this week. Nothing fancy. Let's open them up here. So for you guys listening on Spreaker, you're going to need to come to the Facebook page to see this. But so this is what was reported. So just this general photo, nice and high up, and this anomaly right here is what was reported. This guy right here. So apart from that, multiple photos here, where it's seen again here. You guys may already know what this is without me telling you. Here it is again here. You guys watching, you've seen many episodes. If you know what this is, tell me in the comments. Here it is again here. 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 This is not an orb, ladies and gentlemen. This is a light refraction. So this case has been closed. I hesitated about showing that one, but if I had showed you all those ones, if I didn't, I wouldn't have anything to show you. Lens flare. That's right, Tibor. You were right. Lens flare. So here's another case, 97053, which was reported this week. Sorry, 97053. Priscilla, you are right. Lens flare. Denis Glennon, ball lightning. Yeah, it could be ball lightning if different circumstances arise, but under these circumstances, this is definitely a refraction of light. So this is definitely lens flare. Ball lightning is a completely different phenomenon, but that is in there. You're into the Tesla files, are you not? I like that. So here's another one. So 97053 submitted December 17th. Reported the event was December 16th. It was reported in Ontario and Ottawa. And the short description says a large circular array of lights, maybe 12 lights around the circumstance, with a separate large orb to the left and greenish orbs in the clouds. Now, this one had me going for a little bit, because this was the first photo that I looked at. We got this light here, and then we have these ones here, but this is an actual cropped photo. This is very cropped. Yes, interesting indeed, right, from looking at it, because this is not the original photo. So what's important, Tibor, since you brought that up, is as an investigator, I need to ask for the original photo. I always ask for the original photos especially when I can check with the metadata that this is cropped, because there's a tag that says, you know, Photoshop or Paint or something like that. It shows me and indicates that this isn't the original photo. So when I get the original photo, this is what I get. I'll just wait for it to crisp up here. So we have the same phenomenon up here. So the picture that was submitted wasn't this original photo. It was the cropped version without any reference. Reference is very important. So now we have the entire photo. And what you can see here is, again, another refraction of light. We have multiple lights down here, as you can see, even a few other ones here. I have another couple photos here that will highlight that. One second. So we'll zoom in here. This is just to teach you guys stuff. So either this one was a hoax or this guy clearly didn't understand. I did explain what they were seeing and I got no response. So either, you know, it is. But, you know, these anomalies here reflect off of the light that are shown in these images here. Bill Uzetta, thank you for saying that. You know, should probably be careful with the pictures you take too. So that's the thing, is I don't understand the pretext of taking the photos in the first place, because there's nothing strange going on in the background. So I don't understand why the pictures are being taken in the first place. But you can clearly tell that these are reflections of light. And you guys wouldn't have known that. So the question, the big question here is, witness had known this. So I do my due diligence and I explain to them, just as I'm explaining to you, that this is a refraction of light. 9 times out of 10, people are just taking photos, and the story is, oh, well, I was taking photos and then I looked at them the next day and I saw something I didn't see before. It must be an interdimensional thing. You know, that happens a lot, and it makes sense because you didn't see it at the time and the belief is there. That happens. But you need to pay attention to the foreground or the background and the images that's in there and rationalize this before you report them. I would love to spend, I spend a lot of time on these types of cases, which is unfortunate, but it's part of the job. I don't skip them. I still give the due diligence, but I would like to spend as much time on these freaking lens flares as I do on the paranormal and basis. But unfortunately, you know, these are the cases that we have, and I got to do it. I do it no matter what, but I keep saying this to educate you guys. I want you guys to be aware, spread the word, you know, investigate these yourself. And then once you investigate these yourself and you still don't know what it is, then report it to MUFON, report it to me, and we'll give you the best second opinion of your life. All right, so I got a lot of people commenting tonight. That's good. 15 viewers live. This is good. All right, so I'm going to open up the third case, 97069. Another thing, too, for you guys listening and everyone listening here, it's going to be awkward for you guys watching me, but I've been told by Paranormal Nightstalker that I need to include ad breaks because there's advertisements that go on the audio version of this, which will be launched tomorrow on Friday at 8 p.m. So I'm going to try and incorporate that. So right now we're 20 minutes in. You know, let's ad break, commercial break. Boom, done. Welcome back. I don't know how this works. It's hard to go between two platforms, but we're trying to get the optimum reach to get the word out to the most amount of people. So if you're listening to this and you like it, please share it. And please invite them to my page so they can tune in live, you know, and get this information. I don't charge for this. This is something, I do this all week long, and then I just want to talk about it. I just want to share this information with you. So the more people that are watching this, the more people that are sharing this, the more people that are talking about it, the better. You know, if you got your questions, send those questions in too, because I need stuff to investigate. I need stuff to answer. If I don't have any questions to answer, then what's the point? Like, I mean, I have an inquisitive mind, so I definitely need to, I need to answer all these questions. So let's go on to the third case, 97069, which was reported December 17th, 2018, and it was the event was December 16th, 2018. It was reported as a bright, stationary, pulsating light in the sky. See video. It was reported in Tiny, Ontario, which is actually 13 minutes away from where I live right now. I actually checked this out. So this is an interesting one. So here's the video. Fiona says, wow, this is painful. I'm out of here. I'm terribly sorry that I did not meet your expectations. Tune again next week. Maybe I'll be able to help you with that. For everyone else watching and listening, thank you so much. I'm not an actor. I'm doing this exactly off the cuff, and I'm just trying to get the word out. All right, so here it is. This is the video. Welcome, Jarvis. 23 minutes late, as per usual, but I'm glad you're here. So for you guys listening, what we're viewing here is a blue sky with a very bright circular object inside the sky. A photo was taken. So Nancy says lens flare, just learning. Tibor says a star. Does anybody else want to weigh in? Dan Jones, welcome. You guys are awesome. Everyone's saying large for star. Other people are saying star. For you guys watching on Spreaker here, or listening on Spreaker, you need to come here and check this stuff out. Denise Glennon says star. Now, can you guys tell me what star this is? Can you tell me what star it is? Dan Jones, I am glad that you're here. I know the Leafs are playing tonight. Perhaps you were distracted. Yeah, good evening. So, this case was closed, identified as a star. Well, what star? So I checked stellarium, okay, and it shows that Venus is in the sky at the exact time and the exact direction as the sighting. Now, why is it big and bright in this video? Well, there's an article on Earth Sky, which I added to the CMS to my report, that actually shows that not only Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter, the other big guy, were relatively close, almost as close as they have ever been. Usually they're really close this time of year, but they're close during this time period. Everything adds up. So what this witness is seeing is Venus shining so bright in the sky, which is awesome. And it does look paranormal. It does look weird, but Stellarium is an app, everybody. If you guys actually go to your Google Plus store or you go to your Apple iPhone store, I don't know what the iPhone version is. and you type in stellarium, Stellarium, it is a map of stars. Download that stuff and fact check your shit before you report it. And educate yourself. You know what? Like I'm not making fun of people. It's just we've talked about a lot of things in the past, and and a lot of people do report these things uneducated. And I'm trying to educate you, but I want you to educate yourself. So maybe the problem is not a lot of people realize that the information to investigate this themselves is available. And you know what? There's a thought noted. Maybe I'll do a video to educate everyone on how they can investigate themselves. So looking at the comments here, we got someone said Venus. So Dana Kabatoff, you get a point because you were right with Venus. Nancy says north. Well, it was in the south. Tibor says Mars, so you were wrong. Sorry. Dan Jones says yes. I'm guessing that is about the Leafs. Let me know how they're doing. Give me the score. Michael says Venus isn't a star. Well, yeah, technically it's not a star, but I mean it's a celestial object. It's not a sun. You're right. I was wrong. But the point is it was a bright, shiny, orbital object in our galaxy, and it wasn't a freaking UFO. Okay, can you give me that one, Michael, please? Thank you. Nancy says awesome. Kenny Mixstute says looks like my. Oh, I'm not even going to say that. Kenny, this is not the place for jokes. Well, that's please be polite. That's rude. Anyways, Nancy says Venus isn't a star. Oh, it's a planet. Nancy, Venus is a planet. A star is a sun. Something like. We'll talk about. I'll make a note. We'll talk about that in another episode. Dan Jones says Leafs 3, Panthers 0. Awesome. Priscilla says Venus is not a star, but it is often referred to as the morning star or evening star. She gets brownie points for that because that is right in mythology. It is known as a star, so there could hence the confusion. Right? Man, I love the fact that everyone's chatting tonight. This is awesome. So let's continue. So 8:30. Joel, if you want to add another advertisement here, go. Boom. All right, next. So Nancy says, was teasing, sorry. No, it's okay, Nancy. We're just having fun. Bill Uzetta says, by watching shows like yours, we'll all get more educated. Thank you for that. And I'm no scholar. I've been doing this for a while. You're new to the group, as far as I know. I'm a private investigator by trade, so investigating is my thing. But this subject is so out there that I'm always continuously learning, and I rely on the feedback. So if I say something wrong, like Michael pointed out, a Freudian slip or just excitement or whatever it was, I appreciate people keeping me on my toes to correct me and to educate me as well, because I'm trying to continually learning. There's a tongue twister for you. So thank you. And if you want to go above that, please share, like, and subscribe. Invite all your friends. The more we educate, the more they know. All right. So Denise says, have you looked into the UFO sighting off the coast in Ireland witnessed by a number of pilots last month? I have read the reports. It seems to be credible in the sense that everyone's talking about it, but we already. My personal view is confirming that one UFO exists isn't really going to throw me over. I need to confirm that all UFOs exist, the actual fact and identity of everything. My personal weigh in on that is an unidentified flying object could be piloted by a man or an alien. We don't know. So we can confirm that there was an unusual object, which I'm going to talk about soon, about a recent one, so I'm glad you guys are paying attention. And but to me, it doesn't really matter if everyone's talking about it. What's important is that we're talking about it. That's part of disclosure. All right, Jesus, you guys are talking so much that I'm distracted. Tibor Guerra says, explain your relationship to MUFON Global. Tibor, I will answer that question, but I need you to be more specific. Can you ask that question again? Bill Uzetsa says, thank you, Mr. Tidor, for inviting me. Beautiful. Thank you, Tidor, for inviting him. Okay, moving on. I am going to talk about the goodies here. So on previous episodes, I have mentioned, I don't know if you guys know, but we here in MUFON Canada have what's called the Canadian Research Council on UFOs. Our mission to provide conclusive evidence for the public, elected officials, and the media that unidentified flying objects are real. A globe that must be discussed, analyzed, and investigated and throughout the highest levels of government in Canada. We will provide government distributed documents from military, air traffic control, and NORAD officials that use specific terminology classifying UFO activity throughout the nation. A full list of these documents can be found here, which I will share with you soon. And direct all questions, inquiries, and requests for interviews to your council members, which is Victor D. Vigiani, which is the chairman, Stuart Bundy, which is the co-chairman, who is also the national director for MUFON Canada, Ryan Stacey, who is an investigative journalist, which is yours truly, the one talking to you right now, and Robert Shimon, who is also an investigative journalist, who is also a reporter, or of some sense. Why does this matter? I'm going to go into that. So the CRCU, we are up to something right now, and I got a few comments here. So let me address those comments before I come into this, because I do want to hold all comments for the end, or not for the end, but for this. So Tibor actually meant MUFON in general. So my relation to MUFON, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, Tibor, you may have missed it. I am the director of training for Canada. I am the assistant chief investigator for Canada. I am the provincial director for Ontario. I am the chief investigator for Ontario. My association with MUFON in general is simply purchasing a yearly subscription to have access to the CMS database. And by having access to the CMS database, I choose to investigate UFOs at a high level of intensity. And at that point, I also go above and beyond and choose to display that information to the public for free, because I believe that it should not be paid for, and the public need to be aware, to be informed. I have used to be the national director for investigative training for MUFON. I have stepped down as the national director of MUFON training because I did not share the philosophies or the opinions of national. However, I do, and that has to do with the people, but I do support the cause. I do support the idea, and I will say once again, that the only reason why I subscribe and I purchase membership to MUFON is so I have access to the information. Once I have access to the information, everything that you see here is me doing that to share and spread the word, to heed the world, to take care of you and inform all of you. Because you need to know, and you don't need to pay if you don't want to pay. But on the same sense, MUFON would not exist if it wasn't for subscriptions. The database costs money to host these reports. So there's kind of a give and pull here. So it's a double-edged question. I just want to say that MUFON is important. I will, if MUFON ever listens to this, Jan, if you're listening to this, man, I love you. But I mean, I like what you're doing. I do, but I only want the information because I want the public to know. That comes from the heart. And if you guys are listening to me for the first time, please check out episodes 1 through 13, all my other vlogs, and everything else. You'll get a clear understanding. Come see me at ACE. You'll have an understanding of what this shirt is. This is an awareness campaign, and we'll go from there. But anyways, I'm in this for you. So Next question, Ryan, did you see the post I made about Wiki for 22 Wings? Here, them tracking UFOs. Michael, I did not. Please send me that link, private message, and we'll talk about it. Okay, moving on. So, as we talked about, Document Central, currently, right now, Victor Viggiani has done this within the last, I want to say, 30 years, maybe even 20 years of his career, digging up documents, official documents from NORAD that actually confirm acknowledgement of UFOs within the Canadian government. I talked about this file last episode or in a previous episode, so I do encourage you guys to read these all. Maybe I will do a specific article in the video about this stuff, but I just want to show you that this shit is real. Pardon my language, but I mean, I'm like this. This is the real deal here. So we got words like Commissioner of Ottawa, UFO found in northern Saskatchewan, October 68, Sensitive Associate Committee, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Michael, for sending me that link. 400 miles. Here's a document here. I've read this before, but I just want to show you. Where does it say here? Skimming through. Yeah, roughly 450 miles northeast, of Prince Albert, near the Manitoba border. Examination revealed that the exhibit had likely formed part of a vehicle that traveled in outer space. Outer space. And what you see here at the top here is the division, CIB, F division of the RCMP. That's the RCMP crest. So when you go to this website, which is MUFON Canada, just click on CRCU disclosure, you're going to have a whole bunch of these documents that confirms the acknowledgement of UFOs in Canada. It's not just the United States. We got this shit too, right? Tibor, Tibor asked any word on my mother's and brother's light sighting. I need to get your case number. If you remember your case number, send it to me, and I will open the case right now, and I'll give you an explanation on that right here live. I don't remember your case number. Again, 523, 32 cases. They're all meshed in here. All right. Bill, thank you for your comments. Bill says, it's good to watch shows like yours, someone with awesome credentials and knowledge. Thank you for that. I am an accredited and licensed private investigator. I do investigate real things in real time. I investigate, child custody, labor disputes, lawyers. I've brought down 2 lawyers in my career. Little old me. What? But, investigations are all the same. So thank you for acknowledging that, man. Everything's blowing up. What the hell is going on right now? Okay, so back on track. So the Canadian Current Event Survey is something that I've talked about many times. I have created this database. This is a database available for you, a document that shows a survey of all the reported cases for 2017 from MUFON Canada. The 2017 video, which can be seen on my Facebook page, Heed the World. Shows all the considerably unknown cases, classified as unknown, for 2017. The 2018 cases survey is almost complete because we only have 11 days left of December. Once that's done, within the first quarter, I will have the 2018 survey ready for review. But guess where you get to see that? Alien Cosmic Expo in October. So I hope to see you guys there, and I will release that data to you to distribute and to share and to compare. So, why is this information important? Well, there is something in Priscilla, what's the face for? Did I say something wrong? Anyways, NORAD, which was mentioned here. Okay, the NORAD documents. What NORAD is, for those who don't understand, or not understand, pardon me, those who are not informed. NORTH stands for North American Aerospace Defense Command. This is their website, NORAD.mil, which stands for military. Their crest here, you know, United States and Canadian borders, you know, everything. It's not like United Nations or anything, but like it's there's a collaboration. This is basically the people that get contacted when there are UFOs, unidentified flying objects. And this is important. This is the who's who of who's protecting information. There is a base here in Canada, in North Bay, Michael's Alziga's neck of the woods, Canadian Forces North Bay. For those of you guys listening for the first time, I also have 2 years in the military, infantry soldier. So I do have some military experience and some military knowledge. So when I do talk about, you know, these things, I do have a basic, I do have an understanding. So it's an Air Force base located in the city of North Bay, Ontario, 350 kilometers north of Toronto. That's quite the ways, but it's closer to me as well. You know, this base here, I actually had a UFO case here in MUFON that I've investigated. Where it had to do with NORAD. So this is NORAD here in North Bay. I remember a chapter meeting with Michael. Michael had mentioned that he thought it was ironic that the airway or the landing pad looked like a Masonic square and compass. So like this. So that, you know, those who have seen my previous episodes, I am a Mason. You know, Masano. So it is interesting, but you know what? A lot of airports are designed like that. I do not think it may not be Masonic. It may be a coincidence. Who knows? But this you know, acknowledgement of the symbology is you should get points for. So yeah, here's the base here. So what's interesting is they have a actual tunnel system here. Oh, let me just zoom in if I can. Yeah, it won't let me zoom in. There is actually a tunnel system here. There's a mine. You can actually enter through, travels directly underground to this NORAD base. So there's a lot of crap here that we don't know. This base apparently is dormant and not in use. However, they're always being contacted. What? Yeah, exactly. NORAD. North Bay is heavily Masonic. Well, I'd have to travel up there, dude, and we'll have to see. You know, the entire world is heavily Masonic. All right, Nancy says, thank you for your service. You're welcome, Nancy. My pleasure. Lisa says she'll be at ACE. I'll see you there. And then, all right. So, another neat thing, a little gimmick with NORAD, is they have this, and this is off topic but slightly related because of the date. The NORAD has this neat little tracking device for Santa. NORAD tracks Santa Claus. Believe it or not. Can you believe it? The Christmas is only 5 days away. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Happy New Year. This is going to be the last show until 2019. Tibor has brought up his case 96701. Okay, thanks, dude. I'm going to bring that up right now, and I'll refresh me on your case. So I thought this was neat. Let me see if I can figure out how this works. I'm probably going to go over time. You guys have a problem if I go over 1 hour? Does anybody have an issue with that? You guys seem to be the chatty bunch, so this is for you, not for me. So if you guys have questions or comments or concerns, I want to hear them. Okay, well, I'm wasting time. This isn't working. But anyways, I thought this was a neat little tool. I'm just going to close these up here. So NORAD, we know what that is. Do your research. Do your investigations. Okay, we're going to talk about Project Blue Book soon. But before I get into that, the reason why I'm talking about NORAD. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Okay, I got 16 of you watching live. Some of you guys are going to watch this on the replay. And then something else is coming here, but this is important. This little thing I found, I thought it would save because it was ironic and relevant. But cheers to all the folks who do their own research in this age of information. Ignorance is a choice, right? Research. No matter what I tell you, some of you guys have given me compliments tonight. I appreciate that. I do. But don't take my word. Investigate, research, fact check, right? I could be wrong. I could make mistakes. You owe yourself to investigate. Don't take anything for granted. Don't take anything, check. Check for yourselves. Dan Jones says, I watched the NORAD SANS tracker. That fat man moves really fast. You know what, Dan? You know what I think that is? I think that is just a marketing tool. Oh, disclaimer. If any children are listening to this, please go to bed. But I think that tracker is just the ISS. I think it's just this. It's the same thing. It's just lies and more lies. But anyways, Nancy says trying to learn, which is why I watch. Well, I'm trying to educate. Though I'm doing my best to do. I'm not the best teacher, but I'm trying. And, the feedback is what's important. You guys are absolutely amazing. So, and Priscilla, you're watching this still. Thank you for allowing me to do this. This is my dream. This is where my heart is. And, I care about the people, and I care about the world, and I want to make the world a better place. Not just for everybody, but for you. I love you. So thank you. So, okay, so let's move on. Another question. All right. Reverend William Egan says, MUFON has backdoor to all it programs for Men in Black, 23 years research in UFO. Reverend, I cannot confirm if they're connected with MIB. You have to understand that MUFON is a business. It has a database. It has information. There is a business side of things, which they are encouraged to raise funds and awareness in a campaign like that. That is separate. What I do, my association with MUFON and being Canadian, is access to the information. Much like Dan Jones, who is commenting here, he's an investigator like myself. We want to know the truth. We purchase the membership to get access to the information, and we care because we want the truth. We are not associated with how the business had run. We are pawns. But I can tell you that my personal mission is to stay true and to take the information that I learned from that and to know the difference and to know to segregate myself from what may be business and completely give you guys information, because that's what's important. The information age, spreading the word is what's important. Priscilla says she misses me. You know what? I miss you too, honey. We don't gotta get all lovey-dovey. So those of you guys who are listening, Priscilla and I are together. We're married. Common law, but we're together. We're getting married in 2 years. She's downstairs and she's listening to me. She's watching me live. And even though we're in the same house, I work a lot. But just let's end this mushy stuff, honey. We're live here, but I love you. Let's go back to business. All right. Reverend says, I like your style, how you use MUFON. I'm the oldest ufology group in the world, Cleveland Ufology Group. Well, thank you for saying that, man. If you want me to weigh in on any of your cases, I can't devote myself to another group. But if you give me some info or some cases you want me to dive into or some comments or stuff like that, let me know, man. I'll take a look at it. I'll weigh in on it. I'll write whatever you need me to write. I'll be honest with you. You might not like the stuff that I say. Sometimes I'm blunt. Sometimes they're done. But I'll do what I can. So, okay. Tibor, your case. 96701. I don't have enough information to do a thorough investigation. So I'm going to open up your case, and I'm going to explain my thoughts here in a second. So I'm going to give you information as to what I need to do a proper investigation. Since we're live here, let me just check my notes here. Oh yeah, so the original video. For some reason, buddy, I haven't gotten the original video, and I apologize. I do have a lot of cases coming in. I may have lost it, I may not have gotten it, but I need the original video to determine whether or not this is a star. I do think that it is a star based on the evidence, but I can't confirm 100%. So if you can somehow get me the original video, I'll be able to confirm. And if it's not a star, then it's an unknown. But right now it's classified as insufficient data because I don't have the original video. So somehow send me a link to the original video so I can get the metadata. That's what's important, so we can get the exact date and time and location of where you saw it. The video you gave me is awesome. It's an edit, which is good, and your investigation that you did on that is prime, absolutely prime. More people like you should do what you did. You should become an investigator. You know, I could use some help here in Ontario. But so yeah, so give me the original video, and then I'll take another look, and then I'll reclassify. But right now, it's currently sitting in limbo as insufficient because I don't have enough information to do a proper, thorough investigation. But it's also one of my comeback tos. So anything that's insufficient, I come back to at a later time. But right now, I got to move on and move forward and stick to what's current. All right, so that's the nit and gritty of that. There's no bullshit there, but that's the current status of your thingamajig, okay, of your case. Now, nuts and bolts. What I wanted to talk about at the beginning. So we definitely are going overtime because it's 7 minutes to 9, and I'm now getting into the nit and gritty. So maybe we'll do a 2-hour episode or an hour and a half because this is the last one of 2018, and you guys are chatting it up. So I love this, and I want the feedback. So when I talked about NORAD, okay, if you guys know what the civilian aerospace, shit, pardon me, I need to pull this up because, excuse me, we're videotaping, and I'm quoting, so I need to be sure of what I'm saying. And while we're waiting, so the Civilian Aviation Daily Occurrence Report System. So I subscribe to this. Every day I get a report from the aviation system that lets me know what the pilots have reported. So just like the Ireland UFO, there would have been a report if there was some flap or some overlap here in Canada that saw the same thing. There wasn't anything during the time of Ireland. Had theirs, but it's just the same where it's a civilian database. It's information provided, but nobody really looks at it. I watch it every single day. I do a keyword search for objects, UFOs, unidentified, NORAD, and objects, because objects could be foreign. I get no hits, but recently, November 26th, 2018, I got a hit. Record number 39. Record 39 of the KDOR's report states that an incident had happened on November 24th, 2018 at 0130 Zulu time. Okay? And none of it, Canada, is classified, event information is classified as a weather balloon, meteor, rocket, CRVIS, UFO. Now, CIRVS, I will show you guys what that is. I could tell you guys these things, but I mean, showing you guys is good too. This is part of the fact checking, right? Where is it? Come on, let's try that one. Yeah. Communication instructions for reporting the vital intelligence sightings. I'll say that again. Communications instructions for reporting vital intelligence sightings. So they were notified, as well as NORAD. UFO, unidentified flying object. And it says here, the current summary that was entered 2 days later. A no-liner aviation Boeing 737-200 from Iqaluit to Mary River reported an unidentified object. The North American Aerospace Defense, which is NORAD, was advised no impact. So this I caught personally in live time and knowing about it. So one, I need you guys to spread the word, but we're going to spread that word a lot more than you realize. There is a press release coming through the Canadian Research Council of UFOs. Victor Vigiani is working on putting together a full countrywide press bulletin that we're going to send to the news and everything, so everybody knows that NORAD was reported to a UFO. Somebody made a mistake here. Somebody made a mistake and classified this as a UFO. Now, I personally have provided an ATIP, okay, a request for personal information on. Let me just go open this page here. Come on. Apologize, my computer is lagging. And we'll try this again. Maybe they heard me. So while I'm waiting for this to load up, let's go to the comments. Tibor says, the video is a very large file and hard to send. I will post onto my YouTube channel and send you a link. Thank you, Tibor. I would appreciate that. Reverend says, we are before MUFON. Oh, that's okay. That's great. You know, there's no competition, man. We're all in this together. All right. So this is the ATIP. So AIA, or ATIP. This is access to information and privacy, online request. So I submitted this to Transport Canada. And I had said, we request, okay, we request, and that's on behalf of the Canadian Research Council of UFOs and MUFON Canada. We request all information and specific details related to correspondence, records, digital communications, pilot reports, air traffic control reports, flight log reports, air traffic control pilot audio communications, radar records, pilot debriefing reports, and location details related to record number 39 of the Civilian Aviation Daily Occurrence Reports on November 26, 2018. We also request any and all similar and relevant communications prior or subsequent to this event with NORAD, Transport Canada, NAVCAN, and the Department of National Defense. We also request that any items that may be or could be relevant in any significance, but that may not include in or request be included. Request the application fee to be waived. In this instance, we look forward to your prompt response. So the application fee can be waived if need be. But anyways, the point is we're asking for absolutely everything. And that is our right as a Canadian citizen. And I had to identify myself as a Canadian citizen, and I've officially put MUFON Canada HQ as my address, which is redacted here. So sorry, guys, you can't know where I live. But and that includes you, CIA, CSIS, but you probably know where I live. Clever. So anyways, so that's in the works. So Victor is working on putting a press release. I've gotten a few back and forth from Transport Canada. They want clarification on my wording because they don't understand what I'm saying. So I've simplified to them and said, look, we want it all. Whatever you got on this occurrence, we want everything. So it's still in process. They've deferred and they've delayed for a week. And I think we got down to the point that they're going to release all that information through electronic file and probably going to mail it out to me. So once we have that information, I will release that to you. That is something that happened that was classified. Now, I've also saved this information, the original file, when I found it before I made the report. I've documented absolutely everything because they're going to try and bury this. So far to bury it, what they've done is they changed the report from 39 to 40 and then from 40 to 93. And I have changed and I have saved every single report, finding it again. So they're not deleting it, they're just moving it. So that way when they give me the information that I'm asking for, it's the wrong information, which is deferring time. But I'm up to it. I know the game that they're playing, and I'm on to this. So this is what you need to be sharing with everyone. You know, tell everybody to zoom in to an hour and 2 minutes and say this is what's going on, because within the next week or so, or perhaps in the new year, Victor and I, and on behalf of MUFON Canada, are going to have a report, hopefully from NORAD, about this unidentified flying object in Nunavut that was seen November 24, 2018. So, moving on. Project Blue Book. We all know that there is a badass representation series that is going to come out here on the History Channel. I am stoked and I am ready to see this. This is going to be absolutely amazing. I've seen the trailers. I think this is going to be great. And reason why I'm so happy about this reenactment or this stuff is part of the soft disclosure. Is revitalizing everything. But the Project Blue Book, the real Project Blue Book, exists. Here on this FBI site, this is Project Blue Book. And for those who don't know what Project Blue Book is, it's a document that has been released that talks about unidentified flying objects. Now, why is this important to my research and everything that we're doing on the CRCU? Well, at ACE, I had the privilege of sitting with Stanton Friedman. This was his last public appearance before he retired. Toronto, Ontario, 2017, in June. In his hands, which you can see here with my cursor, is Project Blue Book. And in my hands is the Canadian Current Event Survey, the survey that I produced for 2017 out of the data that was reported to MUFON Canada. And I shit you not, Stanton Friedman thought that my survey had matched and merited to that of Project Blue Book. He had not seen any statistical data since Project Blue Book, and we compared the information. Now, in my opinion, I'm nowhere close to redacted information from the government. However, I did provide a statistical survey that is available to the public if you go to MUFONcanada.com, CRCU, and download the actual document and read it, have access to all this information. And once 2018 survey is done, I am going to compare that data to help identify what these unknowns are. My mission is not to identify aliens. It's to figure out that there's something going on. And once we establish that there's something strange going on, then it's up to the individual specialist to determine what that may be. My goal and my mission in all of this is to validate and confirm that the evidence that we are looking at is authentic and real. If there's any ifs, and, or buts about it, it's dismissed. I want to prep everything as if I'm prepping for court. In the corner of my eye, I can see you guys are commenting here, so I'm going to go through and check these comments. Reverend says, Reverend William Egan, love to have you come to meeting over Skype sometime. We have a lot of information here in Cleveland. We are a no-profit group. I love you have heart for UFO. I love UFO all my life and in my only passion. Reverend, I will say to you that, and to all of you guys listening, I do not charge a speaker's fee. I do not. If you want me, I will speak. We'll schedule and figure it out. And to anybody, if you want me to go anywhere and speak and talk about all this stuff, I'm more than happy to do that. The only thing I ask for is expenses paid. I do not want to be out of pocket. I don't need to make any profit. I just break even. That's it. That's it. Okay, so Reverend, if you want to do a Skype call, send me an email, Ryan.Stacey, Stacey at MUFONCanada.com, or you can send me a private message to my Facebook page at Heed the World, and we'll get that started. Thank you so much for that opportunity. Reverend also says more and more UFO reports will come out now. Stargate is closed now. The arrest will happen soon because the Alliance opened the box. That is a can of worms, man, and I'm already 7 minutes overdue. We'll talk about that another day. Good point. Priscilla says they are passing bills in the United States to protect all lies and deceit. Yes, great point, honey. Great point. So this is the thing. So Greg Brewer, who is ironically not here tonight. So when you see this, buddy, I listened to the brain ninja that you put into me when we had a meeting last week. But anyways, he has advised me, and it makes a lot of freaking sense, that disclosure is going to happen. We know that shit is going to come out, but the problem is when that shit comes out, there are a lot of people that are accountable. So what is happening behind the sidelines, which is what Priscilla is mentioning here, is that they are passing all these laws so that when they come out, full disclosure, nobody is accountable. Nobody can be charged. Nobody can be fired. Nobody can be fined, and nobody can be hung. You know, some states might still do that. I don't know. We don't do that here in Canada. That's just a guess. Don't shoot the messenger. But you know, that's the point. Is they're covering their ass, and then they're going to be like, yeah, by the way, we lied. Oops, can't do anything. And that is coming. That is coming. And this is part of it. Now, here's the other thing. Now that we're going to come back to that, and I'm loving this excitement here. I'm so freaking excited. What happens after disclosure? Right on. Somebody wants to join MUFON. What happens? And at first, I thought that if MUFON, if UFOs exist and everybody knows about it, there's no need for MUFON. MUFON is gone. Yeah, as well as every UFO reporting database. We don't need it. We just know. But, which we're going to segue to in abductions, which I haven't talked about yet. I can't believe it's only been an hour and 10 minutes. Jesus. There's the aftercare. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people right now who believe that they've been abducted, they believe that they've been taken, or that they've had experiences, and they accept that. But then there's a bunch of people that may have had encounters, and they debunk it, or they shovel it off the side and say it doesn't happen. But what happens when they're told that stuff actually happened? Then they're going to be shell-shocked, and they're going to have post-traumatic stress, and they need to be assessed. And when they get assessed, who is going to be able to talk to them? Who's going to understand what they have gone through? They're going to have to identify specific doctors, which is going to take time. So the first people that they're going to go to is people like myself, people like Victor Vigiani, Richard Dolan, Stan Freeman, if he still wants to have the phone calls, Linda Moulton Howe. All these people are going to be there as counselors to help and aid those to understand and cope. That is what's going to happen after disclosure. You're still going to need to talk about it because you're going to wonder, what the fuck happened? Why is this happening to me? So yes, great comment there, Priscilla. Priscilla says disclosure is coming and all the liars will unfortunately be protected under these bills. Yes, we talked about that. Reverend keeps talking, raving about Project Blue Book. Great. He also says MUFON became Project Blue Book. Yeah, debatable. Stop counting minutes, Nancy says. Okay, well, we'll keep going. You know what? Like, I normally set for an hour. I don't want to take too much of people's time, but plus Priscilla, she misses me. So we'll keep going. All right, let's go. All right. So I talked about the Canadian Research Council and UFOs, and I talked about my survey. So here's my survey. So, I might as well talk about it right here and right now. This is that survey that I mentioned, and it shows the cases, the dates of the events, the shapes, the classification by Jacques de Vallée, pictures, video, nearest town, province, status, and disposition. This is the raw data. Why is this not loading? There's a problem with you. Come on. So once I go beyond the data, I put in graphs, insufficient information. I remove all the bad data and I focus on the unknowns, the classifications. I give you all that, the geographical information, the breakdowns in provinces. And then once I'm done that, statistically, I show all of the video and picture evidence of official MUFON Canada cases that have been classified as unknown. And that's not just by myself, that is by the entire team of investigators. And I show you all these pictures, and all these pictures are meant to be looked at. This is what you need to look at because these are unknown, which means we know that these are not helicopters, these are not airplanes. We want to know what these are. And a part of this movement, so this shirt, what it says here is we know you know. That is the branding that I have on my Facebook page, on my mugs and everything, which I'll have at ACE. This is part of an awareness campaign to show that we know. And then when you go to the government, you don't ask them, do aliens exist? That's the wrong question to ask, because they'd be like, oh, I don't know, it's too vague. What you need to ask them is a more specific question, such as, take this survey and other surveys alike and say, are you aware that in Mission, British Columbia on May 14th, 2017, that there was this object inside the sky? This object right here. They're forced to answer that because they can say, no, we were unaware. And then you'd be like, well, what are we paying for? Why do we pay all this money for aerospace government and the space, Space Force? Go Trump. For whatever, on that, Starfleet Academy, whatever, plagiarizing Star Trek, but anyways, and Stargate and everything else. But, what are we paying for? You should know what this is. And if you don't know, then we question the government and what we're paying for in taxes and all that crap. But they may say we do and we are aware. And if they are aware, then there's confirmation. That's what we need, is confirmation. And once we get confirmation, that doesn't mean it's alien, it doesn't mean it's government, but it's confirmation that and it also lets them know that we know that that aliens exist, or technology beyond our realm exists. So, be on the lookout for Project Blue Book. We talked about cases. And that pretty well is it. So I'm going to wrap up here unless you guys got questions. If you guys got questions, shoot them out now. Now's the time to start talking about new stuff. I am going to bring up that it is Christmas in 5 days. So I will not be doing an episode next Thursday. I will be with Priscilla and her family celebrating Christmas. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays for those who are not Christian. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, happy winter solstice, whatever your thing is, which is tomorrow, right? We're all, it doesn't matter. Just be happy, and I wish you all well and be safe. In the new year, a lot is going to be changing. My High Strange's paranormal database idea is in limbo. The guy who said he would help me was was gung-ho about it, but he's MIA. He's disappeared, and he's not available to help. I've tried to track him down, so I'm back to looking for someone who has technology or experience in creating a cloud-based database for us to create a paranormal database equivalent to or better than the MUFON database that supports paranormal activity as well as ufology. Now I've talked about this many times. UFOs is one thing, but paranormal activity is the same, if not similar, we're somewhat connected, and we need to report and we need to collect and archive that in the same. We do not have a database for paranormal activity. I want a database for paranormal activity, so I need help. All right, if anybody wants to donate and volunteer their time to help me create a volunteer paranormal database to report this system, let me know. Right? We don't need to charge membership. We just need the information. We just need it. Right? Heed the world. So that is something that I need assistance with. Another thing that I want to do in the New Year's is I want to try interviews, and I'm not sure. Bill Uzetta says, I'll be looking for you in 2019. You're on my list. Thank you so much. Please like my page, okay? I'm gonna. I think I can type it right now. There's a bit of a delay. Let's give you guys my page here. Facebook.com. Heed the world. Like and share. So I'm going to call my mother. Okay, so this is the thing. You guys are chatty. I'm going to call my mom, and I'm going to put her on speakerphone. And what I want is for you guys to let me know if you can hear her well. And if you can hear her well, then perhaps what I can do is have phone interviews, and then we can get in some real depth in conversations. I can start with, that's a whole new level. I can talk about what's happening, and then we can have a discussion and have special guests, or we can have experiencers share their stories. Or I shouldn't say stories, experiencers share their experiences. Man, I'm all about tongue twisters tonight. So let's give the old Mama Bear a call and see if she picks up. And if she does, then just let me know how this sounds. I will have these mugs at Ace, by the way.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey, Ma, it's me.
Oh, hi, honey.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Did I wake you up?
No.
No, sorry. So I'm live right now. I'm talking to everybody on the internet about UFOs.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So I want to do interviews in the future. So I just thought I would call you and say hello and see how the audio is for everyone listening. So I need them to let me know that they can hear you. So just talk to me, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, okay. So are you gonna ask me questions?
Yeah, sure. How you doing?
Doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. Miss you.
I miss you more.
All right. So you're gonna come? You're coming over for Christmas?
Looking forward to it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's only 6 days away.
5 days.
Oh, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let you go.
Oh, that was short and
Well,
sweet.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll call you tomorrow.
Don't apologize, honey. I love you.
Love you too.
Have fun, eh?
I will. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, later.
Later. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Later.
Later. So, I just need to know from you guys if, let me pull up my face, you were able to hear that and if it sounded good. Yeah, so I'm back in the chat here. So were you guys able to hear that well enough that I would able to do a Skype call with you or other people to have a conversation? I just need to know the back and forth here, because sometimes there's lag, sometimes there's audio delay. I just want to make sure you guys can hear that. So I'm seeing like question mark. Sounds good. Okay, so Priscilla says sounds good. So if that sounds good, then we're going to try that. We'll schedule an interview. My father wants to talk about his sighting. He's never talked about it before, and he is the reason why I've gotten into this, because he believed, so it sounded fine. Perfect. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the old-fashioned just talk on the speakerphone. Who cares about the fanciness? If that freaking works, that's what we're going to do. So thank you so much for testing that out. That is awesome. The next thing that I want to do in 2019, chapter meetings. We used to do chapter meetings here in Penetang Machine, which is where we're from, Midland area. There's a lot of moving parts to get that done. But Greg Brewer is going to help me in making what's called a media kit or a press kit. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to distribute that throughout the area, and hopefully it would encourage others to invite me to speak or talk what I'm saying in person to different geographical areas within the province. And I'll let you know where I'm going to be. I want to try and set up a little bit of a tour so we can come in person and have a one-on-one talk. You guys can bring your photos, evidence, whatever. We're going to have a discussion. So, talking on Thursdays nights is one thing, but I really love this comments. I love this back and forth. It validates, it confirms. It's amazing. Again, I don't know what I'm doing in the sense of someone, Stu Bunny, national director said, hey, you need to have your own radio show. And I was like, oh, one up. Yeah, I'm going to do a video show. And then here we are, 14 episodes in, which means 14 weeks of shenanigans, 14 weeks of cases. So I thank you all. Thank you all for listening. This is the most attention I've had, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Joel, from Night Stalker Paranormal, for hosting this on Spreaker. Hope you were able to get enough ads in here. Am I missing anything on my cases here? Oh, yes, my book. For the first time since December last year, I actually wrote in my book. So let's read together the new stuff that I wrote in my book, and then we're going to end it there. Okay? Are you guys excited for that? Let me see. Let me see a big hairy thumbs up on the chat here. I don't want to go because it's New Year. It's the last one for a while, but I got to go. Priscilla, if I may, I still need a haircut. Got a photo up tomorrow for work. Need to look presentable. Love you. All right, so Lisa says you're awesome. You know what, Lisa? I couldn't do what I'm doing if it wasn't for people like yourself, and I still apologize I feel like you know who I feel like? I feel like, what's his name? Jimmy Kimmel. When he apologizes every show when he doesn't have enough time to talk to Matt Damon. If you guys remember this or know what I'm talking about, every time I keep saying I want to talk about Lisa's case, and I keep running out of time, or that's what I feel like when I keep saying I want to talk about your case. I'm sorry, Lisa, we don't have time to talk about your case tonight, but we'll talk about it next time. But I'm going to talk about your case. I am going to write about your case in my book, 100%. I know that. It's just trying to do all this. And now here's another thing. If anyone's listening to this on the replay, I could use the support. Remember, I volunteer my services. If you want to volunteer towards the cause, if you are good with social media, if you're good with networking, if you're good with, and you believe in this stuff, and you have some tools and talents that you would like to help me get the word out, please let me know. We're in this together, and gratification is always due, and, will always be given. I try my best to name everyone who's always helping me get to where I am. Like, I know you guys, I'm just a face. And I couldn't do this if I didn't have people reporting. If people didn't report, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. If people didn't respond, I wouldn't have anything to be happy about. So everything that I do is because of each and every single one of you. So thank you. And but yeah, if any of you guys have trades or anything that you want to do to help the cause, please, help me and help the world, heal the world. Okay, so let's dive into this book. All right, so I am writing a book. It's called Believe, and I am talking about, this is the new part that I wrote after a year of not writing. I've had writer's block forever. And I decided to write a little bit today, and I shit some stuff out, so it's good. So anyways, the book's called Believe. Okay, an investigative study building a bridge between the borders of paranormal and extraterrestrial. So for those listening to me for the first time, that I am trying to to broaden the horizons of saying that paranormal and UFO activity are one and the same, or if not connected. And in doing that, I am writing a scientific paper. I'm trying to do that. I'm not a scientist. I am just a regular person with a college diploma in police foundations who understands law, logic, math, arithmetic, all the most important basics of science. And I'm putting together information that is already known in a specific order to portray a different perspective on the shit that we already know. And that's what this is all about. So let's dive into it. So I'm going to end this episode by reading the new stuff from my book. So a copyright page, prologue. This is a little bit about my life, which is personal, but you'll read it at one point. You'll understand. Forward. I am hoping that I could get maybe Richard Dolan one day will write this forward for me. I don't know. That's my goal, but I gotta finish it. But anyways, introduction, we'll talk about what's going on here. These are my main topics, table of contents. So these are the ones that are written: paranormal, extraterrestrial, unidentified flying objects, parapsychology, cryptozoology, ghosts, shadow people, sleep paralysis, alien abductions. So for you guys listening and watching this for the first time, the concept here, the first chapter or section is called perspective. And the idea is that the term paranormal is perceived as only ghosts, but when you break it down, the term paranormal actually means anything above or beyond the normal. So my concept here is to break down each of these little subsections within high strangeness to authenticate and explain the purpose, the true meaning of it, to completely understand the original intent of the word, and understand that it is all paranormal. It is all high strangeness. So as of recently, I had written about sleep paralysis and abductions. So this would be very, very fitting because, especially to you others the same who have ever been abducted. Oh, that's the thing too. I'm going to read that at the end too. I got so much stuff. Am I allowed to swear? I'm swearing a lot tonight, but I'm really excited. I did read something that said people who swear are more intelligent. You might want to fact check that. Anyways, okay. So, section 1.8. Section 1, chapter, section part 8. Sleep paralysis. For you guys listening, hopefully it'll put you to sleep. No pun intended. Sleep paralysis is a term used to describe a condition in which, upon awakening, a person is aware of the surroundings but is unable to move. The word paralysis comes from the Greek paralysis, which is derived from the Greek para, and the Proto-Indo-European root word leu, which means para, as previously defined. It is interpreted as above, beyond, beside, or near, and leu has been interpreted as divide, to loosen, or to cut apart. While sleep, on the other hand, is the action of rest afforded by suspension of voluntary bodily functions and the natural suspension, complete or partial, of consciousness. Collectively, the term is literally interpreted as the interruption of a natural suspended consciousness. The original definition of sleep paralysis was codified by Samuel Johnson as nightmare, associating the work of demons, and more specifically incubi, which were thought to sit on the chest of sleepers. Some scientists have proposed sleep paralysis as an explanation for reports of paranormal phenomenon such as ghosts, parasites, alien visits, demonic possession, shadow people, and alien abductions. Alien abduction, 1.9, is a term used to describe the alleged abductions of a person by an extraterrestrial being. The word abduction is derived from abduce, which means to draw or lead away, while the most common word abduct is defined to carry off or lead away illegally, in secret, or by force. The word alien, in this sense, simply identifies who may be responsible for this action. The culture of the phenomenon goes beyond this definition to include individuals who describe memories of being taken against one's will by non-human entities while subjected to complex physical and psychological procedures. Due to the lack of objective physical evidence, most scientists and mental health professionals dismiss the phenomenon as suggestibility or psychodynamics. However, a widespread publicity was generated by the Betty and Barney Hill abduction case of 1961. This incident was considered at its time to be the prototypical abduction case and was the first case in which described gray beings of extraterrestrial origin. David M. Jacobs described the entire abduction event as being precisely orchestrated. All the procedures are predetermined. There's no standing around and deciding what to do next. The beings are task-oriented, and there's no indication whatsoever that we have been able to find any aspect of their lives outside of performing the abduction procedures. Could the above scenario apply to humans? What about Bigfoot, ghosts, and shadow people? If all these procedures are predetermined and calculated, then those involved possess a level of intelligence. It would take more than one individual to pull it off and more than one individual to cover it up. Whether it's human, non-terrestrial, or interdimensional, the aftermath of an abduction leaves the abductee to cope with psychological, physical, and social effects from the experience, and regardless of the lack of physical evidence, we cannot deny the many report to claim having been abducted since Betty and Barney Hill in 1961. Many of these reports, including a lot I have personally investigated, have consistent features. The abductee is incapable of resisting while taking upon an aerial vehicle displaying engineering and architectures not yet shown to the entire population. There are occurrences to physiological and psychological procedures. There's communication to either direct or telepathically. There's travel not only to the vessel but throughout. Time has been lost. Abductees have been returned to different places than from when they were taken. Abductees experience either fear or positive thoughts of returning. Abductees are left alone to cope and process these events. With the collaborating data, we can suggest that abductions are happening. However, we cannot be naive enough to think that only non-terrestrial beings are involved. Humans are capable of the same. And then my next section will be DNA memories and regression hypnosis. Now, again, the whole point is to break everything freaking down and then connect it. It's all part of it. And once we understand the whole big game, then we know where to look. That is section 1. Section 2, we'll talk about legends and current evidence, which I've touched base on, but it will be a more in-depth. And section 3 is the data and research. We'll include cases just like yours, Lisa. I will talk about your case, and I will compare the data to the information that I put in place here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases that are flagged of alien abductions that I want to compare to have similarities between shadow figures and to be abducted. And of course, I cite all my sources. I want this to be credible. This is a paper that I'm writing. I am not writing a book. I'm writing a scientific study on UFOs and paranormal activity. So that is it. So let's check out the comments here. Tibor says, post your live chat on MUFON Global. It does reach out to many. Tibor, I will do that. This was just something I thought of last minute, and thank you for doing that. I'm live every Thursday at 8, so if you help let it in right when it happens, then we'll do that every Thursday, and we'll get this going. And if there's anybody else who wants me to share to those groups, please let me know. Priscilla posted a link that says, this is what Ryan is talking about when he mentions Matt Damon and Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry, we're running out of time, just in case you were all confused. Sorry. Lisa Savoy says, I have been paralyzed by aliens while I have been standing awake. And yes, your story is a doozy. You've been through a lot. Let me see here. Let me see. I think I can do my Instagram or Facebook. Let me see here. No, I can't. So if you guys, the reason why I bring up Lisa all the time is she's a repeated customer. She's always on every single show. Same with Priscilla. You guys are my #1 fans. And let me just see here. and I will talk about Lisa's case. But the reason why I haven't really done it is because I have another case that I want to close first, and I don't want to confuse yours with the others. So that is part of it. Is I want to dive into one case and another, which is another reason why I'm doing the book, so I can focus on section per section, so I can give the best readout. And for those of you that just listened to me read what I had wrote, clearly you can tell that I am a better writer than I am a speaker. So please bear with me here. So we're going to go into pictures. Pat, man, geez, Pat wants me to join Tough Mudder. All right, so these images here that I've shared all around here, these are from Lisa's case. Or are these ones? It might be these ones. I can't remember. Maybe these ones? Anyway, so I have talked about it before. I will talk about it again. So I'm going to close it here. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please like and subscribe my page, facebook.com/heedtheworld. Those of you watching Aquaman tomorrow, we'll talk about that. That is going to be an epic movie. Once the CRCU is done, I will, in that press release, keep on the eye out, and please spread that and share the word. Take care of each other. Keep your eyes in the sky. And heed the world. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Good evening. You are watching Uncharted Case Files live from Ontario, Canada with yours truly, Ryan Stacey. I am the Assistant Chief Investigator for MUFON Canada, the Provincial Director and Chief Investigator for the Province of Ontario, and I am the Director of Field Investigator Training. I also investigate everything else paranormal. I believe that they are all connected, and more specifically that there is a solid connection between shadow figures and extraterrestrial abductions. If you're watching this live, please share so others can see, and most importantly, don't forget to like and follow my page.